November 8th, about 8:30 p.m. That's why I'm even more determined to tell my black people, the ones who are reasonable, yes, we must take our vote, put it all together. We must take all our black people who want to come, excuse me, our black people who work hard and are, reasonable, and their main priority is having a safe place for their kids. I said a long time ago, black folk, white folk, whoever, grown ups, do what you do. But leave the kids out of it, especially leave my kid out of it. Leave all kids out of it. And that's what I mean. And that's my priority. That's why I see not all of our black people will come, just like when, the Jews left Egypt. Not all of them made it to the promised land. And that's going to be our promised land. Safe, a safe space for American kids. See, we don't want no pedophiles. I don't care if you are black. We don't want people who would touch kids and okay with it. I mean, everybody got problems, but that's the problem we're not having. See, I'm not asking people to be perfect. Picture me telling gangbangers, or people used to be drug dealers, or people have had criminal records, whatever. Oh, well, you can come to our community, but we all got to be perfect angels. Nah, that would be unrealistic. I'm a realist. So I say grown-ups do what you do, but leave the kids out of it, and no shooting up no streets. Work together. The gangbangers, all work together. Just be one big, the new gang, the police for the community. They'll be the police for the community. Because we need a safe space for American kids, and especially a safe space for black kids to grow up where any kid in our community that we have, will be safe. They can come out and play. We don't want hanging out in the streets, though, because that leads to trouble. But, hey, we'll have parks for the kids, parks for grown-ups, too, for, family. But we'll have some special parks just for kids, where the only way you could be a grown-up there is if you there with your kid. No other grown-ups could go in there. You're alone, you ain't got no kid, you don't go in. Excuse me. And it'll be, we won't have to be subject to terrorism from Arab or Muslim terrorists, discrimination from African refugee, illiterate, barely literate, fake asylum seekers coming here telling me, my mother's Muslim, my cousin's Muslim, I'm studying the Muslim religion now. I'm Muslim now. I learned how online. They teach you how online. And they say you don't have to take your shahada with nobody but yourself and God. Yeah. Never said anything positive to me. Never said, sorry about your murdered sister. Nothing. But she spent years trying to attack me, working with corrupt popo, lying on me, lying on everybody. Yeah. They do that apparently to get their victim visa status. I know a couple people that's happened to, and apparently that's a thing with them. It gives them, I guess, favor, for that victim visa thing, status. Nah, we don't have to put up with this. Or how that poor black girl in Chicago, 11 years old, got her eye almost put out. Hit in the face with a beer bottle more than likely, from some Spanish people, whether they was illegals, came across the border, whether they were anchor babies, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yo, Americans don't do things like that. We don't operate like that. Picture that. The Spanish lady, grown-ass lady, two of them, wanted the little black girl to get out their way because they were partying for some Mexican holiday. Had a big house party going on. You know how they do. Overflow, just like the Africans. The Africans had an engagement party in the hallway, for God's sake. And that's the nice lady who's very intelligent and about work and about school and stuff. She had her daughter's engagement party. It was beautiful, but it didn't belong in the hallway. That's a fire hazard, risking people's lives. Because you cheap and you don't want to rent a hall, or you don't want to go out to the park and do it. Like, for comfort, for your convenience? Wow. That's a happy land moment right there. Could have been a happy land. Like they did, the foreigners did that. With all that substandard shit, opening up clubs that was shut down because it was a hazard. And they just do it anyway. My black people, that's what I'm saying. Some of us ain't gonna make it because some of us are so brainwashed and trainwashed. So they brain so addled by drugs, and they're just, they're saboteurs. We have them in our own black community, not just other communities do it. Like the ones who caused Malcolm X to be killed, the ones who somehow had Martin Luther King on an open balcony while he's being followed by the FBI and people want to kill him. The one who killed Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, was black. There's always some who tell, going all the way back to the doggone slave rebellions. You know, so not everybody will be welcome. If you are a pedophile, nah, this is a safe place for kids. Don't come. Stay with the white man or whoever taught you how to do that. Your family, whoever, or whatever circumstances, go get help. That's what I say. Go get some psychiatric help. See, because we'll offer all kinds of help to our people, but what we will not tolerate is anybody doing anything that's going to harm kids. And our community, our black community that we will go to court for, I will lead the charge as a black and American Indian person. I didn't get no reparations through the American Indians getting their land and their reparations they got, and black people, we haven't got it, and we are going to get it. They know it. That's why they're trying to put legislation in place to prevent any state that gives reparations from getting a bailout, federal bailout. But that's too bad, because the federal government benefited from slaves and slave breeding too, and even presidents had slaves, and plenty of people who were in power did slave breeding and bragged about it, how lucrative it was for them, and how it was a huge part of the economy. That would be the whole country's economy, federal economy. They didn't want to let go of the South because it made a lot of money. They didn't want to let us secede. Yeah, it made a lot of money because of the slaves and the slave breeding, all that free labor. But it created a very sick mentality, generation after generation after generation for hundreds of years. And that mentality is still here, where they are very comfortable with using and abusing us, and we are supposed to be passive. We were trained to be passive. Don't lift a finger. Our black men don't lift a finger against the white man or anybody, or you die. Or if you learn to read, you die. Learn education, you die. So since when did we become super predators? I'd love to see the timeline of this. Because by my accounting of it, that came about, they began to call people super predators after they dumped all the drugs that the Latinos and the white folks worked together to flood our communities with. Talking about fighting communism, and now y'all letting it in? Talking about fighting terrorism, and now you're letting it in. Talking about fighting socialism, and now you're letting it in. It's all through the schools and everything. Well, guess what? We don't want to fight none of that. That's not black people's issues. That's white American issues. We don't want to fight it. We don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to have to deal with it. They bringing all these folks in to replace us at the entry level. They talking that doctor, lawyer, Indian chief bullshit. I see them. I got videos of them. They sit around and party. They hang out in the streets. They leave garbage and trash, fuck up our parks, shoot up our streets, kill kids. And I had a Muslim lady tell me she'll slap me if I didn't stop talking about poor 17-year-old Jason Perez, who was murdered on the corner by 5 local gangbangers, black and Spanish, who then disappeared back home and nobody said a word. They don't reveal they dirt, or the dirt their kids do. Whether it's the black troublemaking gangbangers, the Spanish, the Latino, the foreign Latinos, or the foreign gangs, the Muslim gangs, or anybody, not the white folks either. So what we need to do, my black people, we built this country for free. Our ancestors did. We worked hard here. We worked hard for civil rights, and they're taking everything away from us, including affirmative action. Here's what we do. We put our vote together. We put ourselves together as class action lawsuits to sue everybody. The city, the state, the federal government, the mayor, the board of ed. We're being segregated out of stuff, and our communities are being sabotaged. And then they're inviting in the very same people who sell the drugs and all of this into our communities with all that high crime that goes along with that drug trade and all of that, and the terrorism that goes along with the Muslims, and we must put up with it? No. We do the American Indian route. We go to court peacefully. Nothing but peaceful. Always peaceful. We're not tearing shit up. Let the migrants do that shit. We ain't doing that. We respect it because we built it. And we will win. We will keep going and sue everybody. We're not going to be... They're segregating us, my black people, if y'all don't realize it. And we can sue everybody for that. And for sabotaging our communities again and again. Talking about you ain't have money for this. That was outright sabotage. But flooding our communities with money, jobs, housing, and all of that, and skipping them to the front of the line and of everything. No. We sue. And then we let them have it. We get our piece of land, two states. Give us 2 states and let them keep all the rest. Because we work hard. We know that. We are talented. We create things. And then everything we create after that, when we have our own land, just so that we get a little cash reparation. See, take less cash and we get land. What we need is land. Because this is falling apart. Let them fix it. The whites, the Muslims, the foreign migrants, let them fix it. Let them go to the wars. Don't go and get in the armed forces no more either. They don't treat the armed forces right either. be our armed forces for our community. Our gangbangers will take them all. We'll take them. They'll be our police for our community. And our armed forces will keep our community safe, and will allow people like who are part of our cause and want to advance our cause, like Puerto Ricans. Our kids need to learn Spanish. They can teach Spanish. Jews, our kids need to learn business. They can teach us Jews and work with the black Jews. American Indians, they've suffered enough, my ancestors. They can teach us about how to live off the land. And white folks, because some of them white folks believe in us and fought for us for freedom, got their head busted open with us in Omaha Beach, or World War I, World War II, Civil War, all for civil rights. So as long as they are willing to push our cause and advance our cause amongst their people and help keep kids safe in our communities, we welcome them and their children. But they will be watched very closely, and they must do a year or two in the National Guard to guard our communities and our children, their children, and spread the message of, safe space for American children community. That's our tribe, my people. I love you, and I love America. God bless America. We'll work with America just like the American Indians do, and let the rest of them tear each other apart. And they won't be attacking us. Thank God. Our kids will finally be safe and not have to go on the street and worry about being left behind by firefighters. We're done. Time to go.